Hello and welcome to Graphic Technology. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please click the red subscribe button by the right and like this video as well. In today's tutorial, we'll be looking at conditional formatting. Conditional formatting is a feature in Excel that allows you to apply a format to a cell or range of cells based on certain criteria. Conditional formatting provides another way to visualize data, and it makes worksheet easier to understand. So this spreadsheet contains monthly sales data. Over here you would see the salespersons, and here are their names. And over here from January to June, these are all the monthly sales information. It's a bit difficult for you to see the patterns and trends of the raw information, but with conditional formatting rule, you'll be able to visualize and know what exactly you want to see. So the criteria here is that for this certain company, the goal is that each salesperson must reach a minimum of 4,000 rands in a month. So I'm going to create a conditional formatting rule showing the salespersons that got 4,000 rands and above in a month. Before you create a conditional formatting rule, you need to select the data set that you want to include in your criteria. Okay, so like I did explain, I want to know which salesperson met their goals, which is 4,000 rands and above. So to do that, I need to select from this point to June and up to the last person. Now, while I have selected this data set, I'll go to the Home tab, hover the mouse to where I have the styles group, and here I have my conditional formatting. So I click the drop down arrow, and here remember I want to create criteria rule showing sales that are higher than 4,000 for each month. So I go to highlight sales rules, and here is greater than. I'll click on this greater than. Now this is where I create the criteria. Now I want to see sales that are higher than 4,000 or above 4,000, and where I have this box, format cells that are greater than 4,000. In this box you would want to put what color formatting you want to use. So if I click this drop down arrow, you would see that there are different color formatting. So I'll just choose the green fill with dark green text. You can see what it looks like over here, and I'll click OK. You can see what's happening here. So with conditional formatting, I can easily visualize and see the trends. Alright, I can easily see that this guy Harry, from January, February, March, May and June, Harry had sales that are above what? Sales that are above 4,000, except for April. So just by looking at this data set with the criteria I have set or I've put in place, I would know which salesperson met their target for each month. And I can also see that in the month of April, all the salespersons didn't meet that criteria. So from this point, I can begin to think, if it's an organization, they can begin to think what actually happened at this point. And at this point, which is June, almost all the salespersons met the goal of the company. So this is what actually conditional formatting does for you. You can see patterns, you can see trends and what's going on. That's just different ways you can view and analyze your data. Secondly, I need to let you know that in this spreadsheet, you can add more than one conditional formatting. So for this, what I did here is to highlight cells that are higher than 4,000 in each of the months. Now I'm going to create cells. I'm going to highlight cells that are between 3,000 and 4,000 and then color them with, say, red. Now again, I'll select all of these cells, go to the conditional formatting in the styles group. Now the criteria is what? Between, that's the one I'll be using. Color the cells that had between 3,000 to 4,000. Now I'm going to be choosing this one. If I click on that, I have this dialog box. In this point where format cells that are between, I need to type in the 3,000 and 4,000. With what color? Light red fill with dark red. Okay, let's use something else. Yellow fill with dark yellow text. Okay, that's cool. And okay, so again, if you look at this point, you can easily see which months people tried to get to 4,000, but they couldn't get to 4,000. So you would also see the salespersons that tried at least putting efforts to get to the goal of making sales of 4,000 in each of those months. All right, so you can see you can apply more than one conditional formatting rule in your data set. Again, I'm going to select all of this. This time I would create a conditional formatting rule that will color all the cells that are below 3,000. Cells that are below 3,000. I go to the conditional formatting, highlight cells rules. Now less than, this is the one I need to choose. This dialog box comes out. I would say format cells that are less than 3,000 rands with red fill with dark red text. Okay, so at this point I can now see what's going on. All the places I have red fill text, I know this actually didn't meet the goal of 4,000 sales in a month, and I know which salesperson probably did not reach their goals. Probably if this is an organization, they can go ahead and take decision on what to do to this guy or this lady Cathy. If it's to relieve the person of his or her job, then they will do that. So what I'm trying to say here is that conditional formatting allows you to see trends and also make comparisons of what's going on. Rather than when we initially started, you will see the data sets were all there and you couldn't actually visualize or make meaning out of it. But when you apply your conditional formatting, you can easily see what's going on and take a quick decision. Okay, so if you have applied conditional formatting to see what's happening, you can also remove or clear the conditional formatting after you're done with whatever you are trying to visualize. So to do that, you go to the Home tab. At this point, you have the Styles group. You click on the Conditional Formatting drop down arrow. Hover your mouse to where you have Clear Rules, and you would see Clear Rules from selected cells. So you want to clear a certain cell, so you need to select that portion and click this first button. But if you want to clear rules from entire sheet, then you have to click this one. At this point, I want to clear the rules for the entire sheet, so I click this part. So everything is gone. Excel has other conditional formatting features that you can use for your data set. If I hover your mouse to the Home tab, the stars group, the conditional formatting drop down arrow, you would see other formatting styles you can use, conditional formatting styles you can use. For this one, this is called the data bars. They are horizontal bars added to each cells. They are similar to your bar graph. The color scales changes the color of each cell based on its value. The icon set adds a specific color. The icon set adds specific icon to each cell based on its value. Okay, so I'm going to use each of this conditional formatting, so you just have a preview of what it looks like. So first and foremost, like I said, before you can apply conditional formatting, you need to select the data set. So I'm going to select this column, which is the January column, right, and go to the conditional formatting, the stars group, conditional formatting, drop down arrow. I'm working on the icon set. Then I'll hover my cursor to the directional. So I want to use, okay, let me work with the shape, the directional here. So the name is 3 arrows colored. So if I click on 3 arrows colored, what I have there, the changes, I see down arrows and then up arrows, green, 2 green up arrows. And secondly, you would see that the content has changed to hashtags. So what this simply, the content changing to hashtags means that the column width is too small for the content, so you need to expand the column width. So auto fit by double clicking at this point. So I have widened the column width of column B. Okay, so you can see, looking at this conditional formatting I just applied in column B for January, you would see that the cells here that are green shows large sales, 64,000 rands above, 84,000 rands and all of that. But this red are showing you that they are low sales. That's why the arrow is pointing down. So I'll go to February, select on the February, go to my conditional formatting, home tab, styles group, conditional formatting, drop down arrow, icon set. Now I'm working on the shapes and I want to choose this particular one, 3 traffic light unrimmed, 3 traffic light unrimmed. The hashtags appears again, so I'll just auto fit by double clicking at that point to widen the column of C. Auto fit. Okay, so looking at what I have here, the red buttons there tells me that the sales are low. The green buttons tells me that I'm having a high sales based on the value of the cells. All right, based on the value of this column, so it's gonna arrange the buttons in that format. And that's the 4,000. The green buttons are the high sales, the red buttons there are the low sales. Okay, so looking at this point, if I want to analyze that column, which is February, I would easily know that the green buttons those are high sales, the yellow buttons are the between sales, and the red buttons at lower sales. So in March, I want to select March, and this time conditional formatting, I will be applying. Now you see how the icon set works. Okay, you can choose any of the icon sets here, indicators, still the same thing like I did explain. So let me go to the data bars, the gradient data bars or the solid data bars. So if I choose the solid fill, the solid fill gives me, you can see that point, the highest sales, the bar is quite full. So just looking at that, the March, I can see that, wow, in March, somebody, which is Carol, had a very high sales in March, which is very high. based on the bars that you can see there. Okay, so it's very visual and obvious. Okay, so this is, I can go ahead and apply different conditional formatting for each of those columns. So you see the gradient fill, you're working with the purple data bar. Again, the purple data bar is all the same thing. You will see the bars gives you the fuller the bar, the more full the bars are, you would see that they have high sales based on the values that you have selected. So this is all about conditional formatting. It allows you to see trends quickly, allows you to make your comparison quickly, rather than just looking at this other aspect. You wouldn't visualize or figure out what's happening in May and June. But with all this that I have applied in other columns, February and all of that, you can pick out what's going on by looking at the colors, the red, yellow, and all of that. And for March, you can quickly see who's doing very well in March or who did very well in March. So, okay, that's it for conventional formatting. I hope you do understand this tutorial and that you like it. Please remember to click the like button and drop your comments in the comment section below. Do not forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.